start in just a minute. If you can wrap up your conversations. Thanks everybody for being here. This is an awesome showing tonight. My name is Brian Kelly, and welcome to A2 New Tech. How many folks here are here for the first time this evening? Awesome. Well, I always love seeing lots of new faces. We've been doing this for a while, actually, since 2009. Over 100 meetups, over 300 companies have pitched, and over 5,000 members in the meetup group. So thank you everyone who's joining for the first time. Here's my other two questions I ask. Who is hiring right now? Who's looking to hire somebody in some capacity at their company? All right. Who's looking for a job? All right. Now you know how to connect with each other. Now, there'll be more of an opportunity to do that later on. So why do we do this meetup? So I moved to town here about 5 years ago to join Duo Security in the early days, and one of the positive signs as I was looking up Ann Arbor was, oh cool, there's a new tech meetup group. I was moving from DC, and as I got here and got involved with it, it was great to see there wasn't just a single startup or a handful of startups here, but there's actually quite a few. There's a lot of people wanting to create their own companies, and this has been a nice, like every month you can put down what you're working on, which everyone here is heads down, and actually meet each other in the same physical space. So this is a great way to support fellow entrepreneurs and also meet people that you might work with at some point. So if you take one thing away from this, other than enjoying the pitches tonight, try to meet somebody in this crowd that you might continue a relationship with after this evening. So I hope there's a lot of interest. It's an interesting cross-section of people. You have investors, students, entrepreneurs, developers, marketers, people from all different facets. So take advantage of that. A couple of thank yous for the people who make this possible, other than myself. The Entrepreneurship Clinic at University of Michigan Law School. They've been hosting us in this room for the past several years. So if you see Dana Thompson, say hi to her. A2 Geeks. A2 Geeks is a nonprofit dedicated to making Southeast Michigan and Ann Arbor a great place for geeks and creatives to live, work, and play. Roger Rail's down here doing our video. Volunteers his time every month. He's got a company called R2 Vive, so if you want to hire him for an event, find Roger. And then I'm not the only organizer here. I've been helping organize this for the past 18 months or so, but Doug Song, Zach Steinler, Scott, David, there's a bunch of other organizers. They help get people in this event every month and make it possible. Special shout out this evening to Ann Arbor Spark. So Ann Arbor Spark, as you might know, they're committed to bringing together organizations and individuals to support the growth of companies and creations of jobs in the Ann Arbor area. Special thanks to Phil Coleman, event manager. We always congregate at Pizza House after this event, and this evening food's is on Spark, so thanks to them. So come on out to that afterwards.
Just the food, though, right?
Just the food, yes. There are some public funding requirements that must just be food. So our agenda this evening, this will run until about 8 o'clock, and we have 5 companies that will each give a 5-minute pitch, followed by 5 minutes of questions from you. I'll come down here in front, just throw up your hand, and I'll call out, and you can ask them anything. After that, we'll also have community announcements. So if you want to announce a meetup or make an announcement about anything, you're hiring, you're looking for work, we'll have some time for that at the end. And if you can see these pitches tonight and you say, hey, I know somebody who should do this, email organizers at a2newtech.org if you'd like to pitch in a future month. We always do this the 3rd Tuesday of every month. All right, almost done with the announcements. So I also like to recommend a podcast every month. I've been sort of short the last couple months, but I finally have one to recommend to you again. So this one's called The Knowledge Project. It's by Shane Parrish, Farnham Street blog. check out the episode with Naval. Naval was co-founder of AngelList, if you're familiar with that, from February 28th. It's a long discussion, but it's awesome. And it's not just about tech. It's about a whole spectrum of things. They describe it as reading, happiness, systems for decision-making, habits, and radical honesty. So the Knowledge Project, February 28th episode. Go check that out. If you want to connect with anybody virtually tonight, check out our Slack. So go to madeina2.com/Slack. If you haven't been to madeina2.com, it's also a great place to check out all of the companies that are here in town and other events. All right, so mute your phones. So respect for the presenters coming up. If you're going to tweet, use hashtag A2NewTech. And I'm very pleased to announce our theme for this evening and welcome Angela Kajava down here. Angela is the new managing director of Desai Accelerator. This is 4 of the companies we have tonight are from the 2017 winter session, which runs from January to April. Their demo day is in May, but you're getting to see like an early preview of each of these companies this evening. So Angela, if you just want to tell people briefly what Desai is all about, and let them know who you are.
So the Desai Accelerator is a collaborative effort between the Zell-Lurie Institute for Entrepreneurial Studies at the Ross Business School and the Center for Entrepreneurship at the College of Engineering. Twice a year, we run a 13-week cohort for startups in which they come to the accelerator. We provide them with resources necessary for them to make rapid progress during the 3 months that they're with us. Resources include a funding vehicle, intern staff, office space, and events like this where they can come and practice their pitching. At the end of the accelerator's 3 months, as Brian indicated, we have a demo day where the teams are able to pitch into a room much like this, filled with investors. And so our demo day is actually in April. It's April 26th. Just a note, we are not student teams. Anybody who is a company that has at least one founder working full-time in the business is welcome to apply to the accelerator. We also don't only accept companies from affiliated with Michigan, so you can be anywhere in the country and get into the accelerator. We have somebody in this cohort who's with us from Boston even. So we will be accepting applications in a couple of weeks for our summer cohort that starts on July 10th. And so keep an eye out for that application. We are thrilled to be here tonight. As Brian said, we have 4 of our 5 teams presenting tonight. We're so proud, and we thank you for having us.
All right, well, with that, let's kick this off. So I'm pleased to welcome Rachna from Foodstand. Foodstand is the gamified healthy eating behavior modification app designed to help you get and stay healthy for life. Let's give her a warm welcome.
So hi everybody, as you guys heard, I'm Rachna, CEO and co-founder of Foodstand, the app to help you get healthy with micro challenges instead of diets. So I want to start by introducing you to my delightful family of food lovers. That's my dad and his 2 brothers. You can tell they are big fans of food, sometimes unhealthy eating habits. And what they've all suffered from is some version of diet-related disease. Now, unfortunately, we've lost 2 of my dad's brothers in the last couple of years because of diet-related disease tied to these unhealthy eating habits. But dad over here is still alive and kicking and has some problems, but we're working on helping him change. Now, I know that I am not alone in this experience. We all probably have seen something like this. We know that 2/3 of our country is overweight. Half of US adults will probably experience type 2 diabetes, and that leads to a lot of people dying, unfortunately, with preventable things, right? An unhealthy diet is something that we can prevent. So that's really what we're trying to fix, because it's also a very expensive problem, $2 trillion worth of expense across the globe. Now, we're not the first people to try to solve this problem. We've all probably tried a diet in the past, whether it's a calorie counter, it is an extreme diet, or it is an activity tracker that you wear in your hand. What we've heard from research is that these things just don't work. And so that's really what we set out to fix, is to provide a solution to help people build lifelong habits as opposed to these short-term changes through modifying their behaviors. So Foodstand is a mobile app that helps people build these habits through micro-challenges. They use the app to participate in one of 20 challenges. They use it to also track their behaviors through something very simple as opposed to calorie counting. They get social accountability through a community of people now in over 60 countries, as well as individuals like friends and family members. And then finally, they get personalized education based on their progress. Now let's take my dad and see how he's used the app. So he got a cath done recently and realized he had to cut down on his added sugar. So he joined the No Added Sugar Challenge on Foodstand. He got a guide via the mobile app that explained to him how to participate, how to do this. He also assigned some family members, myself, my mom, his sister, as buddies, so we could keep track of him when we're not in the same place. He gets reminders from Foodstand based on his progress every single day through customized recipes and tips. And then he uses the app on a daily basis to check in on his healthy habit, one day at a time, ultimately to get him to 55 days of breaking this habit of no added sugar. Happy to report Dad has lost 6 pounds in the last 55 days and feels great and has kicked his sugary habit for good. Now, we did not design Foodstand in a vacuum. We've worked with some of the leaders in behavioral science and nutrition to develop this program so we can implement the latest strategies that have been clinically backed to actually work. So everyone from the folks at Harvard School of Public Health to Johns Hopkins and everyone in between has plugged in to make this product truly work. And I'm happy to report it does work. So we launched this version of our product in October of last year and have since seen some pretty amazing changes. We've grown over 250% in the last 90 days. So our community is now over 16,000 people participating in these challenges. Our retention is something we're very proud of. 67% of our members who have buddies stick around for 2 weeks or longer, which is well above the industry average. And we've now crossed 1.5 million grams in added sugar saved. Thankfully, the press is taking notice. Now, stats are one thing. I want to just share one quote from one of our members that's indicative of what hundreds of people have experienced on Foodstand. This is Ahmed from Kuwait. He said, "I lost 5 kilograms in 1 month only by quitting added sugar. Not eating less or working out, only eating real food." This is a testament to what we're doing. And so how do we make money? So Foodstand currently is a B2C product. Individuals download the app. It is free currently, and we're rolling out premium features, so there will be a monthly subscription fee. We're also concurrently rolling out Foodstand for teams, where organizations, community groups, sports teams can use Foodstand to do these challenges together. This will be our next monetizable product, but ultimately we're setting up to roll out a corporate wellness offering. That's where the big bucks are. And we want to take this approach of starting with B2C because it helps us build the evidence, build a better product, and ultimately prove that we're able to deliver on our promise without going through the long sales cycle of B2B. So thankfully the market is quite big. On the consumer side, most people are trying to get healthy, eat healthy, but stop dieting. We see the decline in sales of diets. And then on the B2B side, because corporations have a very vested interest in keeping their employees healthy, 9 in 10 of them are investing in these types of programs. They're seeing a strong return, nearly $4 for every dollar invested, and it's a very big market. So for us, I will tell you, now that this has closed on me, that our financials are very strong. Our goal is to basically roll out this freemium product first, ultimately rolling out the B2B product. We estimate earning about $11 million in revenue by year 4. The lion's share of our revenue will come from our B2B offering. And then the last thing I'll mention is our team. So you saw some of the people we've worked with in terms of organizations, but collectively my team is made up of consumer behavior experts, psychologists, nutrition experts, as well as folks that are experts in game design, which is really what we're building. So we're super excited to have you hear about Foodstand. If you want to learn more, come talk to me afterwards, but I do encourage all of you to download the Foodstand app from the iTunes or Google Play Store and join a challenge with me, my dad, and the rest of the community. Thanks.
Setting the bar high for pitches tonight. That was excellent. Who's got some questions? Raise your hand and throw them out there. All the way in the back up there.
I was just using your app. It's amazing.
Oh, thanks.
I downloaded it.
Say it louder.
It's amazing. And what I was wondering was like, how do you want to tie it into your B2B models, and what is your revenue structure? Like, how are you planning it out? Is it per user base or like per company base, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So for the B2C freemium freemium offering, we're going to start with a monthly subscription fee to get people access to some of our most exciting features that we haven't launched yet. The most asked for thing that people want to do is do multiple challenges at once and get custom meal plans for their dietary preferences. So that's sort of what we're putting behind a paywall. And then on the B2B side, the common pricing for a product like this is per employee with a setup fee. So our estimate is somewhere around $8 per employee, which is a fraction of the $700 that an employer normally pays for a program like this.
$8 per year?
$8 per employee.
Per month or a year?
Per month, but then it will occur in chunks because they don't do the challenge ongoing. They'll do it in certain periods of time. Yes.
So as you move into this model of going more B2B side, what kind of milestones are you looking for that are going to signal that it's time to start focusing on that and move toward that as kind of the future of your business model?
So there's two important things we need to prove in order to effectively sell to these B2B clients without taking 18 months, which is normally the sales cycle for something like this. The first is proving the happiness and the persistence of behavior for our teams, which is why we're doing these team challenges in corporations, but without going to the HR person. So that's going to take us a few months of time because we need enough time to actually capture the data. And then the second important thing for us to prove, which we need to do in a very small setting, is the impact on biometric markers. So did we actually get people to lose weight like my dad or reduce A1Cs and all these other things? That we want to do in a much smaller test. That will take us money and time, so we need to make sure we have enough runway to do that proof point before we walk into a big company and say, hey, we have this product that's going to work at scale.
What's beyond the B2B? More particularly, you build a new platform.
Yep.
Do you have in mind to enroll like partners, and what's your adoption long term?
Yep. Yep, absolutely. So our goal, our core focus is really around behavior modification for eating because it is such a critical part of prevention. We're only focused on one audience right now, right? The folks we're looking at are people who've maybe tried a MyFitnessPal or used a diet before and they're not the extreme case. They're sort of the mainstream population. So for us, long term, we know that if we figure out behavior modification for this population, we can start tackling other more at-risk populations, like young people, people at the base of the pyramid, and then also people that have very specific diet compliance issues like renal failure and things like that. So I think for us, our sort of long-term goal is to figure out what are these other segments that actually can benefit from behavior modification around eating, and let's come up with a program for that.
Question in the middle.
What's your marketing strategy to acquire a lot of users?
So, great question. So one component of where we get our growth from is around referrals. So I mentioned that everybody who joins is prompted to add a buddy. Most times people are adding buddies that are not already on the platform. So we have an inherent viral engine already built into the platform. That's sort of one chunk. The second chunk is around partners. So there are a lot of organizations that care deeply about these issues, but they simply educate, they don't activate. So Moms Rising is an example of a network of moms that care deeply about sugar prevention and sugar reduction among children. They have 50,000 moms in their network. They promote us because they have nothing like us to help their moms make the change that they recommend. So we're setting up these partnerships that help us get that type of audience very quickly. And then the third, obviously, is press. We've gotten a few pieces of, I would say, mediocre press, not the best things in the world, but they've converted very well. So as we continue to demonstrate the value of our product, we then go back out to the market and say, hey, look at, we crossed 1 million, we crossed 2 million grams of added sugar. That generates press that then leads to more people.
No more time for questions. I'll wrap us up with one. What do you want from this group? Are you looking to raise money? Looking for people to hire? Are you looking for users?
So we are, so definitely if you have a mobile phone, download the app because we're always looking for users. We do have an open round right now. So if you know folks that are interested in digital health or public health via technology, please come talk to me. That's it.
All right, rolling right along. I'd like to welcome Alex here. Alex is from Scout Day. Scout Day is Moneyball meets Snapchat. We are a private college athletics recruiting platform for premier athletes around the world that is centered around evaluation executed by professional scouts. I will get you up here. All right. Oh, yeah, do this one. All right, with that, welcome Alex.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Tuccio. I'm the founder and CEO of Scout Day. I'm also the Boston guy here in Michigan. When it comes to recruiting, college coaches trust the opinions of MLB scouts. The recruiting process as it stands right now in baseball is very sporadic. There's very limited channels for players and coaches to actually engage in an effective manner. There's traditional email, there's picking up the phone, and there's also very specific recruiting events that take place nationally year-round. I would know. I went through the recruiting process not very long ago. Played 4 years of Division I baseball. I was very lucky to do so. But the recruiting process is very difficult. There's no practical solution in a world full of innovation, and I'm really looking to bring a change to a process that really could use a more connected fashion. So how we do that is through our platform, we allow players, high school players, to submit their recruiting videos and their baseball footage to our team of MLB scouts. The scouts watch the videos, and we've created a scoring system. We use the 20/80 scoring system, which MLB scouts use at the professional level, and those scouts score the players for their performance at their given age. With our baseline that we've created using that scoring system, players are then either selected or rejected from our network of coaches. And so what we're trying to create with our network is a platform and a network that coaches can trust, knowing that every time they log on, they'll be able to find more players and better players faster. With our product, we're really trying to be at the very tip of the engagement between players and coaches. So we're really giving them the proposition of, are you interested or not? And so for the coaches, they're allowed to view the player's profile, which features their short form video content, so that coaches can watch the clips, look at the player's mechanics, also their scouts' evaluation and the scores, and decide quickly if that player is a player that they would like to connect with. On the flip side, the players have the coaches' profiles, which have pictures of the campus, pictures of the facilities, things like that, that would engage a player to either decide, is this a school that I would like on my radar or not. So we propose a question, yes or no, and that's really how simple it is in the recruiting process, as opposed to how it stands today, where it's just very disconnected. In our platform, we have an in-app messaging system where coaches and players engage. With NCAA rules, we have an automatic feature where the coaches will actually reach out first because there's a lot of restrictions on what they can say. So we initiate the conversation in a compliant fashion. So one player I came across this summer, living in Boston, starting Scout Day, is Nate Wolf. I came across him at a baseball facility. I saw him hitting, and I was like, wow, this kid's pretty good. And so I got talking to him, and got to know him. And he was going to his senior year this year, and he had no college offers. And it blew me away. I mean, he had 33 in his ACT. He's everything a coach could have possibly wanted in a prospect. So we got him connected with one of our scouts, got him a Scout Day evaluation, got him scored, and I distributed that evaluation manually through our network of coaches. He generated a lot of Division I interest from schools, and ultimately he ended up committing to Pepperdine University, which is one of the powerhouse programs in Division I baseball. Beyond Nate, we do have just over 340 players registered in our network who have been evaluated today. In the first month in business, we did a lot of price testing on our evaluation, and in that month we actually converted just over $5,000 in revenue. And in that month as well, we converted just over 50 coaches, most of which are at the Division I level, and they're very attracted to our model just because we do provide them with a network where they know that they're engaging with players that are qualified, that have been screened and basically vetted. And since we joined Desai, we've actually more than doubled our player base, and we've actually added just over 25 new coaches as well, who are all at the Division I level. In terms of our team, it's myself. We have Raj, who's our CTO. He's a serial technologist. He's a mentor at Techstars. He's also an advisor at General Catalyst Ventures. And he's super talented. He'll be overseeing the development of our app. We also have Cameron Lowe, who pitched in the MLB for 10 seasons. He recently joined us as an investor and an advisor. And Cameron's a great guy. I'm really excited to have him on board. And he's deeply connected, spending 10 years at the big league level, also spending time at the college level, and just being around the baseball industry. I'm super confident that he'll be connecting us shortly with the right people in the industry that will accelerate our success further. If you're interested in learning more, our website's scoutday.co. We're only in web MVP beta right now. We're looking at getting our mobile app going by June 1st of this year. But if you have any questions or any high school players in the area or elsewhere, please let me know. I'd be happy to talk afterwards. Thank you.
Got some questions for Alex. Fire away.
So, with your business model, how do the scouts, what do they get out of this?
Yeah, so we actually, like I mentioned, we did some price testing with the evaluation. The players pay a fee for the evaluation, and then we redistribute part of that evaluation fee to the scout for completing that evaluation.
I'm not really familiar with how baseball recruiting works. Is this kind of an ongoing process year-round, and do you foresee any challenges, with maybe like some seasonal nature affecting your growth throughout the year?
Yeah, so it's seasonal in a way that there's different things that happen at different points in the year. Like, for instance, the summer that's why we're trying to get the app launched for June 1st, is the summer there's very large-scale events that have, hundreds of players, dozens of coaches all in one place, and we can easily attract users at scale at events like that. And like, for instance, during the spring, like college coaches kind of just venture out and go watch specific high school games. So it's just different strategies in terms of like the tactics for the recruiting at different for each of the seasons.
What about the recruitment laws around, high school students and that a scout can only reach out once?
Yeah, so the main restrictions with the NCAA are mainly around the communication, and a lot of that responsibility, if not all of the responsibility, falls onto the coaches. So that's why our messaging system is super important. We want to build it in a way where we're setting up both parties to have a streamlined communication process so that they can quickly decide, it might be, for instance, an academic issue that makes the disconnect between player and coach. Like a player might not have the grades to go to a certain school. So a lot of the responsibility is on the coach, and so that's why the messaging system is important. But other than that, there's very limited restrictions in terms of, I don't know if you're specifically asking about the evaluation piece, but
just that I was under the understanding that a scout can only reach out and make contact with a high school student once.
Right. Yeah. So there's different rules at different times of year. So that's why our messaging system is going to be compliant, and then it's up to the coach, as it would be over email or any other form of communication. So, if he breaks the rules, he's only really jeopardizing, his institution and himself. There's other platforms like this where it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Baseball seems like a really cool vertical, and clearly you have a lot of like innate understanding from your own experience. Do you see this being something that's a problem in other verticals too, that you can kind of like leverage a platform effect for?
Yeah, it definitely is a problem. My focus is on baseball. I'm going deep in baseball. I see an opportunity in the youth market and finding a way to connect Scout Day to the youth market. There's 13 million baseball players over the age of 6 just in the United States, let alone in the world. So being able to provide a platform more focused on player development is kind of our next step, the next version of our app. All the way back.
Is there any way you could look into more? Have you thought of showing off player consistency versus a great video?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is there any way you can show off player consistency versus just one great highlight video that they're able to throw together?
So basically, like a flaw that might exist by a player just submitting his best stuff. Yeah, that's something that we've been talking about a lot. And it really comes down to the scouts. What they're scoring with Scout Day and our scoring system is the player's actual mechanics. It's not just, was it a home run or did he strike the player out? It's more specifically on that player's fundamentals. And that's something that, whether it's a highlight tape or the player's worst day, that scouts are, that's what they do for a living. They're trained to kind of pick apart, the player's mechanics. And that's actually what they're looking at. It's not just, scoring the result.
Questions? So who's your biggest competition?
Yeah, so most of the competition in the platform space are freemium sites focused on a lot of sports. There's web platforms that do focus on just baseball, but they're more focused in the event space. And what they do is they take their database of players from their events and basically just give them a basic profile. So our competitors are, in baseball are a little bit different in terms of where their focus is. They're less focused on the technology side. They're more focused on facilitating the connection on the baseball field. So our focus is really providing, the technological solution necessary in a world where, we're all connected by our smartphones and really bring, efficiency to the communication and that actual first initial engagement between player and coach.
That's about all the time we got for questions.
All right, moving right along to our third Desai startup tonight. Please welcome Daniel Young from Circadian Risk. Circadian Risk is creating software to assist companies in mitigating daily risks associated with criminal and terrorist events. So from baseball to security.
It's a really good transition. Again, my name is Daniel Young, and I'm the founder and CEO of Circadian Risk. What we're trying to do is really help companies identify what is the risk of an undesirable event happening at one of their facilities on a day-to-day basis. An undesirable event could be anything from an accidental attack or, an accidental fire to an active shooter event or even like a tornado. So to kind of explain that a little bit, because I know it's a little complex, I'm going to tell a story about how I stole a baby. I know you're thinking, like, why did I steal a baby? Well, over my career, I've been a security expert for over 15 years. I was a regional bioterrorism coordinator in the state of Michigan through the federal government. And over that time, I've been asked by many institutions how to protect their facilities. So we've done anything from security assessments to vulnerability assessments, even doing penetration tests. So one specific penetration test was an infant abduction system. We were working within the hospital, and they had a new nursery, and they wanted to test out their system called HUGS. It's a little bracelet that goes on the foot of a baby, and if it breaks or it loses connection or even gets to a certain portal within the building, then the doors would lock. So I'm not going to go into how we did it, but we did get a baby. It was a doll, but it was a baby. Out of the building, off campus. If you really want to know, I can tell you more later, but specifically we were able to do that. So a lot of times people really think criminals are something more like this. This is really what they kind of envision. But really, criminals are more like this. Brian, thank you. Appreciate it. So the reality is there are friends or acquaintances, people we know on a regular basis, and that's really what we develop into and see. So this drove me into what I want to do with my company. I want to create a standard within the physical risk industry, more like an Equifax in that space. So literally, we could have a score for every building based on what are the events going on around us. And as we drive into that, we have to collect the data, both macro and micro level data. So the first thing we developed is a vulnerability assessment. It's an iPad app. It allows a user to walk around a facility documenting deficiencies and vulnerabilities easily and accurately. This allows us to gain that data that we can use later for trend analysis. So we started out with a pilot with the Veterans Affairs, and we ended up doing 99 buildings in 26 days, which is quite impressive compared to what current methods are out there and doing. So we wanted to really drive a value proposition using technology today and what we can do with data to really push forward within this industry. So we want to be more objective than what the tools are out there. You can see with a paper-based model, it's usually based on a person's experience. One person goes or two people go into the same building with the same tool, you get two totally different results coming out. We also want to be that data-driven product. So that way we can look for trend analysis, we can actually do more analytics, and understand what risk really means rather than it being a guess or based on somebody's experience. And then finally, actionable results. From the action base, where instead of just giving a written report where people don't know what to do, we really want to show that there can be improvements done, and as those improvements are done, how that affects the overall risk of a facility. So within our products, we want to make sure that we capture a lot of different information. Obviously, we are iOS-based right now, or iPad-based. We can do online to offline syncing using our product, or we're using React Native. And then we want to do things like capture deficiencies with photographs, geotag those, and everything in that. So our go-to-market strategy, we're focusing entirely right now on hospitals because I'm leveraging my network as a regional bioaffairs coordinator. So going through FEMA Region 5, which is basically northern United States, working through those hospitals. There's about 900 in just that region that we're working through. And then we're also working with schools. And one of the things that I really want to give back to the community is we're developing a nonprofit. This is going to allow us to do the assessments at those schools. But the problem with the schools is they don't have the money to actually improve the schools. So our nonprofit will actually solicit and find funding to actually make those improvements at the school. So that's the two markets that we're focused on. We have a superstar team. Our founder and CTO, Paul Mestmaker, worked for Microsoft for 7 years. He was the head of SQL, lead team there. And our initial investor, Gus Littman, was the COO in one of the largest privately owned security companies in the nation, just recently acquired by another company and is now the second largest company in the world. So our traction to date, we've received $280,000 investments. We're in an open round right now, $53,000 in our pilot, and we have 10 contracts in negotiation. And if you have any other further questions, feel free to give me a call, email, anything you want. And we're always looking for anybody who's interested in making the world a more secure place. So if there's people out there that could benefit from this, please let me know.
All right. You're the first guy I saw.
Is this physical security only, or do you do data security as well?
Right now it's physical security. There's been a lot of discussion where we use the same method that I've created to be able to do the IT space, but it's a very saturated market. IT has been really hammered pretty heavily on a couple of different major players.
Right.
The niche right now is the physical. The standardization from that perspective is really what I want to try to focus on.
It's kind of a follow-up to that. So do you actually put the people in the field and do the testing, or you provide the mechanism for that, let's say a Fortune 50 company to do their own internal process using your platform?
Yeah, right now we are just the tech piece of the solution. We want to work directly with consultants to drive that. Actually, as of today, we're 48 hours away from an exclusivity contract with a major consulting company. So.
This is a big deal. We have a customer that comes in, does physical security tours with us every 2 years, but they send somebody out 4 times a year just to audit our situation. So this is huge for that type of company.
Yeah.
Any interest from insurance companies?
So that's where we really want to drive the standardization, is really from the perspective of the insurance companies. You know, using that scoring-based method, we can then apply that both on a government sector base, but also insurance. And that way we can go and use it for discounts, reductions of premiums, things like that. So that standardization would be something that would be just like a FICO score, you know, used by the financial industry to really understand how that building, you know, or company really plays within the industry, and then that would be based on that.
What are the biggest risks that you see in terms of, like, there are so many things like compliance, and then you have like a lot of other things actually running around?
I heard the beginning part, but
like, what are the biggest risks that you see in terms of like security? Because if you have a contract and then if your assessment turns out wrong, then how would you handle for it? That is what I'm trying to understand.
So like the physical risks, or you mean like our data risks?
Or business risks to you if your assessment ends up to not.
Sure, okay, I understand. Yeah, so that's where the data really comes in. Right now, as an industry, it really breaks down that it's person's experience. So we actually are going to, right off the bat, be more valid than that one person, because we can have data to back that actual basis. Within this industry, what I've seen is a lot of people after 9/11 retired as a police officer or come out of private security and said, I can do this and start my own company. The unfortunate truth is that subjectiveness happens everywhere within this industry. And because of that subjectiveness, you'll see people with one classic report just being really, really terrible, and then one company just doing a really, really great job, but there's no truth or standard right there. So for us, with the data, we can actually validate our findings. We can actually use that information to say this will happen because of this, and as we grow or as more clients come in, more important, or I guess more, what I'm looking for, accurate the data is actually becoming.
What's your revenue model, and are you focusing on like per assessment fees or like a subscription-based model?
It's actually a combination of both. So we'll start with a per assessment because usually that's the first start when we do that, and then a subscription to use the tool continuously. A lot of our consultants that we work directly with like that touch, to be able to work out with them, work things with them over the course of the entire year. So every month they do something, and then maybe annually do a new assessment.
You know, the data is so important. You know, the analytics that you get from that sounds like what's going to set you apart from your competitors. You know, when you did the 99 VA hospitals, what were some of the interesting facts that you came up with that other traditional people wouldn't find?
So a lot of it has to do with more of the comparison. So within the 99 buildings, we had 3 campuses. Paper-based method, most people wouldn't even be able to compare 99 buildings. So what we were able to do is go and say, this is the 99 buildings side by side. And so how are your doors compared to each one? And then we can take that information from a business intelligence perspective and say, you know, somebody's doing something really great here and not here. So let's apply what they're doing here to our other site and be more secure. So that's the type of business analytics that, at least at the preliminary, we were able to pull from.
All right, we got to wrap for questions. All right, 404 coming up here. So Grace is from a company called Warmilu. And Warmilu is a non-electric warming medical device technology company. Their mission is to spread warmth to reduce infant death in resource-scarce settings and support this social mission of sales in the developed world. And with that,
all right. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Grace Hsia, and I'm the CEO of Warmilu. Our non-electric warming technology medical device company is spreading the warmth to save lives. When I was born here in the US, I was born 1 month preterm. The incubator, where I spent the first several days of my life, saved me. Unfortunately, in resource-scarce settings, 1.5 million infants die from hypothermia-related causes because they're born in a setting that does not have access to those resources. But just a bit of basic warmth can improve their likelihood of survival. In fact, for every 1 degree Celsius drop in body temperature, it leads to a 28% increase in their risk of death. When we looked at the current methods for warming, we found that they were inadequate. When you look at incubators, unfortunately, there's a lack of reliable access to electricity in these resource-scarce settings, going out anywhere from 3 to 6 times a week. And when you look at these incubators, they're often overcrowded, having 2 to 6 infants in a device that's spec'd for 1 child. And as a result, there's a risk of cross-contamination. And finally, when you look at the incubators, one of the challenges is maintenance. When you look at space heaters, these can overheat the infant and turn out to be dangerous. And last but not least, kangaroo mother care, the gold standard of warmth, providing warmth from the mother. Unfortunately, if a mother has a complication after birth, she cannot deliver kangaroo mother care, which you are supposed to deliver continuously for 24 hours. And so that's where we began developing the Warmilu Inky Blanket. Just over 5 years ago, we began developing as a team. We thought we could make a difference. And so we developed this now US patented heat solution. So if I'm a doctor or a nurse in a resource-scarce setting and a patient comes in at 2 a.m., I have to be able to generate warmth for her. So with a simple click of a disc, it goes from being room temperature to generating warmth. And what's amazing is that you're able to generate warmth for several hours, 3 to 6 to be precise. And if I'm a doctor or nurse, once I'm done generating warmth in the back of this Inky Blanket, I'm able to reset this pack through boiling. And that can be done up to 100 times. And so we've had significant traction in the past few years. We ran clinical trials successfully on 20 infants in Bangalore, India in 2013 that demonstrated it was safe. And then every year since then, we've been generating revenue, generating $50,000 just this year alone. And so this 2017 has been the most exciting year yet. We are going through regulatory approval currently in Kenya and the US. And we're able to do all of our production right here in Ann Arbor. It's been a dream come true. And we do it with our supercharged team of designers, engineers, and business developers. With that drive, our advisory board is able to help us have the focus that we need to sustainably achieve our social mission. So, how do we reach the doctors and nurses? Because we're based here in Ann Arbor. We work with resource-scarce setting medical device distributors. We have 2 distributors signed to date. Matter Nova allows us to break into Latin America and Southeast Asia, and Relief for Africa allows us to break into the Horn of Africa region. We have 3 distributors pending at this point in time. So, our business model, we sell the Warmilu Incu-Blankets for $30 to our medical device distributors. They, in turn, sell the Warmilu Incu-Blankets to ministries of health, hospitals, and clinics that they've been working with for 20 to 30 years for $60 to $90. However, not all those hospitals and clinics can afford $60 to $90. They can only afford a $30 product. So we're exploring developed world revenue streams. Specifically, in retail, stadium seat warmers, with the largest supplier, IMG College Seating, of collegiate and NFL seat cushions in the United States. We're integrating our pack into their game day seat. Second, we're looking into medical infant transport and learning about how to get infants from the delivery room to the NICU. So my ask for you is, if any of you is familiar with stadium seat warmers, you use one yourself, you guys are into medical and infant transport, you know doctors or nurses, I want to talk to you, because together we can spread the warmth to save lives. Together you can help us be able to make sure that infants born in resource-scarce settings have a chance at a healthy and productive life. So thank you so much. That's how we spread the word to save lives. Learn more about us on our website or our social media channels. Yes, I welcome your questions then.
Question.
Yes.
Right down in front.
Yes.
The elephant in the room, how did UofM respond to you?
Oh my gosh. So, how did we what?
How did the University of Michigan Mod Hospital respond to you?
They're actually working with us to learn about the infant transport side. So we're working with DMC Children's Hospital, but we reached out to a pediatrician here at UofM. And they talked about their current warming. They used a transwarmer mattress and gave us some suggestions for a disposable cover for our pack. And we're looking to have them provide feedback on that later next month.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So you mentioned that you can use it 100 times before you have to dispose of it. So, especially in cases of Africa where it might not always be easy to get new products, is there a way to recycle it, or is there a way to
Great question. So, as you can imagine, it is very tough to get things to Africa and back, and in India where we've been working. So every single thing in the pack is completely non-toxic. In fact, you can technically drink, although I don't recommend it, it doesn't taste good, the sodium acetate trihydrate and water, and it's a food and medical grade wax. And so those are all things that you can dispose of locally. So, and finally, the exterior is it's a polymer film that's non-toxic and medical grade, so it won't leach plasticizers into the environment. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
How does it work?
How does it work? Okay, we use phase change material. Okay, so my background is in material science engineering, so you're going to get a thing on this. So basically, sodium acetate trihydrate and water can form supercooled solutions that can act like a thermal battery. So just like our Duracell and AAA batteries, we don't have to use the electricity immediately. I can grab one from the drawer and use it like a month from now. Our thermal solution is able to store and hold on to thermal energy. So most materials, like if I have a block of aluminum and then I put it into an oven, it's going to melt into a liquid. This normal material has sensible latent heat energy properties. Once I take it out, it'll immediately begin re-solidifying. So I'll have a solid block of aluminum again. However, phase change materials, I take a solid block of the sodium acetate trihydrate and water, I boil it, it'll get stuck in a liquid state. Once I take it out from the pot of water, it'll cool. However, it will stay stuck in that liquid state, even if I were to put it in the back of my car for a year or 2 years or in a mobile clinic. And so that's the key difference, is that phase change materials can store and hold on to latent heat energy because they have a high latent heat diffusion.
then how do you turn it on?
Right, and that's the mechanical catalyst. So there's a disc in the corner of every pack. And so when you press that disc, so imagine my hand is the disc, it's concave. When I press, it puts 20 pounds per square inch of force into that pack. So you're inputting kinetic energy because it acts like a spring, this disc. Second, on the surface, it's roughened. So no matter how long I boil this, there's always going to be surfaces that are not exposed. So you're going to have semi-solid crystals in there. Once I press, those semi-solid crystals are released into the surrounding solution. All of the surrounding liquid molecules have a semi-solid that they can latch onto. And as they form those covalent bonds, that's how they're generating heat.
So as you scale, do you see this heat storage technology as your main scalable product? And if so, would you see that scaling under a separate brand with Warmilu still focusing on the blankets, or where do you see yourself in the future, I guess?
Great question. So the core Warmilu technology it's all in the InstaWarmer pack. And there are different ways to tune it. You can add different particles inside to tweak the formulation. And so that's a great question. It's something that, in fact, our team, we still need to work on. But we've considered, and this is very up in the air, like open idea, branding the different products differently. And so all of them would be produced under the Warmilu umbrella, but they would be a different branded product. So I'll open to new ideas.
One last question. So is there any way to tell if the pack is still warm by looking at it? And is there any way if a nurse comes in, in the middle of a pack already being warm to know how much time is left?
Yeah, so what we have is something called a thermospot sticker. And so because a number of these clinics that we have visited in Kenya and India, they deliver 500 infants a month, but they don't do it with any thermometers in their facility. So as a result, there's a liquid crystal thermometer, it's just pennies per sticker, but you can actually stick it into the blanket or onto the baby to make sure that the baby is being thermoregulated to the correct temperature. And that's a clinically validated piece of temperature monitoring. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
All right. I hope you guys are enjoying this set of Desai companies as much as I am this evening. But we're changing gears now. I'm pleased to welcome next Parabricks. How do you say it? Merzed. Thank you. Merzed from Parabricks is here. This is another company in Ann Arbor. They have an SBIR grant that they're approved for full-time people working for them. And Parabricks accelerates data to insight for DNA analysis to finish in an hour instead of days, which enables research centers, labs, and hospitals to diagnose and provide patient-specific medicine and care. So welcome. We're to hear about it.
Thank you very much. So, hello everyone, my name is Merzad and I'm part of Parabricks, and we are accelerating DNA analysis on the cloud. We are on the brink of a revolution in medicine. Personalized medicine will result in highly accurate diagnosis and side effect-free treatments for many diseases such as brain tumor, cancer, genetic disorder. And the main driver behind personalized medicine is DNA sequencing, which gives us a new way of looking at DNA information of the patient. There are many cases where after a series of trial and error, when everyone lost their hope, DNA sequencing was used to save all these lives. But not everyone is as fortunate as these guys, because DNA sequencing is taking a long time to finish and it's really expensive. Let me show you why it takes a long time today. So when you go to clinic, they take blood sample and put it into these giant sequencing machine, and that generates lots of data. That large volume of data is meaningless unless you analyze it and find the relevant information out of it. Traditionally, these sequencing machines were really slow, but they are getting faster and faster. And right now, the current bottleneck is analysis. And that's the problem we are targeting in Parabricks. Using Parabricks technology, physicians can get their report back in hours instead of waiting for days and weeks. What we are doing is DNA analysis software as a service on the cloud. We are using off-the-shelf cloud components like GPUs, graphics cards, to provide orders of magnitude higher processing power. Using Parabricks technology, DNA analysis will be 48 times faster, while saving cost by 75%. That means 190 times price performance improvement. And you can have all these benefits without disrupting the current workflow. Right now, bioinformaticians from hospitals and clinics, they put the blood sample into sequencer, and that will automatically upload the data to the cloud. And they run open source tools and get the result back. Our tools are plug-in equivalent to the golden standard tools that everyone is using. So adopting our technology will be seamless for those customers. So let's look at the market. Number of DNAs to sequence is doubling every year. And we will have more than 1 billion DNAs to sequence in 2026. That's a huge opportunity for Parabricks. Right now, our current addressable market, considering our price point, is 40 million. But it will grow to become more than $8 billion in less than 10 years. And Parabricks has a chance to become the dominant player in this market. DNA analysis. As our team, Ankit and I got our PhD from computer engineering department here from University of Michigan. And we've been working with Professor Malki for more than 7 years. Our experience is getting a traditional program and accelerate it by 10 to 100 times. We have Michael Winfrey, who is working with us as our business developer, and we have Mike Klein as our business advisor. Mike Klein is CEO of another company, another genomics company here in Ann Arbor. Genominon is a good example of companies that can use the output of our product and leverage our value proposition to gain competitive advantage in their own market space. And why I'm here tonight? We are expanding our team. If you know anyone, or if you are C++ programmers who wants to really learn how to write really fast code, let me know, and yeah, I will appreciate that. Any questions?
All right. Questions? Okay, I'll start there.
Mirzad, are you working with NVIDIA?
Yes, we are partnering with NVIDIA actually. We are part of the team, yeah.
Do you have to do hospitals or labs have to de-identify the data before it gets to you, or do you have some sort of PHI or HIPAA compliant piece to secure it all them?
So right now it's we are working with research centers, and all they need in terms of regulation is HIPAA compliant. And we are working with the cloud providers, Amazon and Google. They basically take our hands and help us to make our product HIPAA compliant. So yes, we.
So how do you work with Genominon? It seems like there's a pretty big overlap. With Mike Klein being your advisor and he's the CEO, that seems to me to be kind of a bumpy piece of roadway.
So yes, so the way that we are working is right now we are lucky to have Mike Klein as our business advisor, and he opens lots of doors. They are ahead of us in terms of development, so he opens lots of doors. But we can see that these products come together and become one huge like genomics analysis tool. So they can work together. Okay. There is no competition.
Okay, got it. Because if I remember correctly, Genominon does tertiary analysis to actually come up with the...
We are secondary analysis.
So you're secondary analysis,
yes.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to secondary analysis solutions, I know you're working with research centers. How are you different from what they're currently using in these pilots?
So the biggest competition that we have is open source tools.
Okay.
So yeah, so tools are free.
Like that NIH tool thing.
Yeah, any tool. Like we are not limited to specific tools. So those open source tools are free, but you need to pay for the computers that you're renting on the cloud. And because we run things much, much faster, we will be even cheaper than free open source tools using our tools.
I'll live in the back.
What kind of DNA sequencing technologies are you supporting, like microarray, RNA-seq? What kind of DNA sequencing technologies do you plan to support in the future?
So, basically, we are computer engineers, so we didn't know anything about this. We started the customer discovery and we talked with genomic experts. So whatever popular tool they are using, we go after that. It's a pipeline of products. It's not one product. We finished our first product. We are testing it now, and we are working on the second and third product right now.
Scott. So you said you're kind of trying to compete with open source tools. Are you trying to replace SAM tools, BWA, things like that? Are you trying to speed up the FASTQ to BCF process, or are you trying to just put it onto a GPU in order to accelerate or some sort of ASIC? Or?
We replace the exact tools that you mentioned. So we learned it that it's really hard to come up with new tools that everyone is using. In this market, validation is a big thing, and it takes 2 to 3 years to make sure that people make sure that you are giving you better results. So everyone told us we don't want better results. Just give us what we are using right now. So we are providing 100% binary equivalent output compared to the tools that everyone is using, much faster.
Wow. So after you're doing this for a year, and now it's so cheap you can do everybody. You do 1 billion people in a year. So now we're all done in 6 billion in 6 years. What's your future market?
Exactly. So we will never be done. The reason is you need to do this it's as a checkup to see if you have any cancer cell in your body, anything like that, if we can detect. So the future is like this. You go to clinic, they take your blood sample, and they can tell what kind of cancerous tumor you might have in your body and what can go wrong in the future. So you need to do this checkup every couple of months.
I don't know, can I have my genome put on a memory stick?
It's changing, that's the problem. Your DNA is changing.
My DNA is changing?
Because of the cancer, yeah.
I don't think my DNA is not changing today.
Thank you.
All right, so those are our 5 pitches for this evening. They were terrific. I hope you enjoyed them. Now we have some time for community announcements. So if you want to make an announcement about a meetup you organize, if you're looking for work, if you're hiring, line up over here and down along this side of the room, and Roger here will record you and make your ask.
All right. Are we getting lined up? So hi, I'm Doug Song, CEO of Do Security. We're hiring, we're always hiring. Duo.com/jobs. We're hiring 100 people this year. Check us out. But I wanted to introduce a buddy who was actually one of our angels. We're super early, and an old friend who used to lead actually a bunch of the Michigan funds here at Beringia. He's now moved to the SoCal, but is going to be doing much more stuff here, and is interested with his partner to find more companies here to invest in and so forth at a very early seed stage. So I'll introduce Jeff Bocan.
Cool, thanks Doug. Hi, I'm Jeff Bocan. Sorry, where do you want us?
Right there.
All right.
Head's not in the light.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jeff Bocan. I'm with Okapi Capital. First of all, thank you, Doug, and thank you also for letting me invest in your company very early on. Good luck. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Yes, I've done venture capital for going on 15 years. I did it here in Michigan with Beringia, which has an office in Farmington Hills, but I lived here in Ann Arbor and spent a lot of time here. One of my portfolio companies is a company called Mophie. We make these charging case products with the batteries built inside. I left my firm to go help run Mofi for a handful of years, and we sold it last year. And now I'm back in the venture business after taking a little bit of time off. Joined up with my partner Mark Avert over here. We've been friends for a long time. Our office is in Laguna Beach, so if any of you guys want to come out to Southern California, hang with us at the beach, we'll do some surfing, and tell me about your startup. But I don't have enough cards to hand out, but Okapi Capital, OKAPI, is our firm, and I'm Jeff at #1. So 1oc.vc. So it's Jeff at 1oc.vc if you want to send me your ideas. Oh yeah, sorry, we're doing, oh sorry, yeah, thank you. What are you investing in? Thank you. Doug just asked that as well. We're doing early stage technology. We're not doing biotech, so I cut the tail end of that interesting genomics thing. It's not something I really understand. So we're avoiding that sort of space, but we're doing basically a lot of enterprise software, but we're doing consumer internet. We're doing really kind of any kind of technology driven. We'll even do some hardware deals, but no biotech or drug discovery, things like that.
You can put your other information on the comment section for this meetup.
Thank you very much. And I'm sorry, we literally just flew in from California, and I was just trying to catch Doug before he went to dinner. So anyway, thank you all.
I thought he was cutting in line. My name is Russell Schindler. 3 things I want to announce. First, I run a technology meetup in Traverse City, very similar to this one, called TC New Tech. So if you guys have an idea and you want to present in Traverse City, I like to say we get about 8 to 10 millionaires and 1 billionaire at every one of our meetings that are interested in investing in startups. As a matter of fact, the guy presented last month and he got funded already. So you can find me at tcnewtech.org. Second, my day job is my company called sampleserve.com. We're hiring. We actually want to hire somebody right here in Ann Arbor. So if you like environmental sampling and environmental software, you can reach me at sampleserve.com. And then the third one is we're also starting an incubator in Traverse City, and we're looking to hire somebody to manage that incubator. So if you've got some entrepreneurial experience and you want to live in Traverse City, I think somebody over here might be interested, I don't know. But like you right there, yeah, you want to live in Traverse City? Okay. But anyway, so we're looking for somebody who might be interested in moving to Traverse City. I can tell you it's going to pay fairly well too, so thanks.
Hi, I'm Larry Cooperman. There's a new meetup in town. We recently started the A2 Game Designers, which is hosted at Spark East in Ypsilanti, third Thursday of each month. It is game-centric, although we also have room for people that are doing gamification stuff. It's a great place to come and interact and meet some of the people that are developing cool games in this area. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Scott Gosey, and I have a couple quick announcements, so I'm going to go through them fast. First, if you like this meetup, and you also like drinking, 2 weeks from now we're going to have an A2 Brew Tech event. It'll be on a Monday, so it'll actually be before the TC New Tech, so that way you can hungoverly go up to Traverse City as well. That'll be on the same page as A2 New Tech, so see it there. We're going to be at Cafe Felix this time. You can come reach out to me if you have any questions. Secondly, we have Coffee House Coders tomorrow. If you've ever wanted to learn how to build one of these startups and you don't know how, or maybe you just want to teach somebody how to build one, come to Coffee House Coders. We'll be having one tomorrow. It's on Meetup. It's on a different Meetup, Ann Arbor Coffee House Coders. You'll find us there. And thirdly, if you're looking for a startup job, me and Mike have been building TrueJob for quite a while now, and we have the best selection of startup jobs in Ann Arbor. And we have some cool announcements coming up, but if you have any interest in being hired or want to hire, come talk to us. We'd like to talk to you more. Thanks.
All right, my name is Inson. I'm a student attorney at the Entrepreneurship Clinic. Our clients are early stage startups, and we provide free legal service. So we do things like drafting privacy policy, any contract that you're going to be having with potential consumers, IP issues like trademarking, your logo, and some provisional patent work as well. So if you Google Entrepreneurship Clinic at the University of Michigan, there's going to be a web page, and on the upper right-hand corner, there's an apply button, and you just insert your information on there, and we're going to get back to you within a couple of weeks. So, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lucy, and I just wanted to point out another helpful resource offered within this building, within this law school, and that's something called the Transactional Lab and Clinic. And what we do is we provide free legal services to startups and companies who otherwise cannot afford them. And most of the time, the startups and companies we work with are actually outside of the network of the University of Michigan. So we will be here after the event. Feel free to stop by and chat with us.
And I'm Ken Johnson, also with the Transactional Lab and Clinic. Quick point of distinguishment between the Entrepreneurship Clinic and the Transactional Lab and Clinic. A lot of what the Transactional Lab and Clinic focuses on are corporate contracting needs, as well as we'll do organizational needs more related to licenses, consumer supplier agreements, website terms, and organizing documents like operating agreements and bylaws. And so some of our specialties overlap with the Entrepreneurship Clinic, and we'll share capacity from time to time, but we do have slightly different approaches and client bases. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Dave Mihai, and I want to make sure you guys knew about an event coming up in May called Detroit Startup Week. It's May 22nd to 26th, 4 days full of entrepreneurship, startup, all sorts of cool stuff, all-day sessions and network things in the evening. Great turnout expected this year, but I wanted to bring it up because if you're interested in volunteering, participating, presenting your startup, if you have a talk you're interested in doing, or a session or a panel, let us know. You can Google us, just Google Detroit Startup Week, or see me afterwards if you want to be more involved. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Phil. I work at Spark, and I'll clarify, I'm not the Phil that is responsible for the pizza. You can thank Phil Coleman over there for that one. So 2 quick points that I want to make. We are having a meetup around mobility technology next Monday at Spark Central. We're going to have Pascal, who's an engineering prof at UofM, coming talking about the composition of data science and how it's going to apply towards transportation systems on campus, and then also hopefully broader to Ann Arbor and Ipsy. So that's going on Monday, 6 o'clock at Spark Central, A2 Mobility Tech. Second piece is we're taking a group of companies in April to Michigan Tech. If you've been in town for long enough, you know that there's a big pipeline of folks that are coming from Michigan Tech, and we want to build on that. So if you're interested in joining or you have a Michigan Tech background, see me afterwards and let's see if we can get connected. Thanks.
I actually have a Michigan Tech background, so we'll be talking soon. Pizza House. I am Mario Loria. I'm a co-founder of Arroyo Networks. We actually present here in December. We're going to be presenting real soon. And I wanted to announce a couple quick things. Arroyo is actually looking for a front-end developer, someone who's really good at AngularJS and some of the other front-end technologies, and maybe a little design sense as well for making things look pretty. Also, I myself have started a startup in Ann Arbor called Orchestructure. It kind of rhymes with the orchestration of infrastructure. So taking these awesome code creations you're seeing here, getting them into the cloud, getting them into production, and keeping them alive. So if you're interested in any of that, sysadmin, DevOps, any sort of operations technology, come and check us out. Our first meeting is March 29th at 7 o'clock at Ann Arbor Spark. And there will be pizza, also provided by Phil. It'll be better than
My name is Ryan. I run a company called Repurpose. We recently launched. What we do is we're a marketplace that helps connect individuals that are interested in tech or have been working at startups with tech companies. And so they come on our platform if you're looking for a job or startups looking to hire. We work with all types of companies, extremely curated. So we only let kind of the best companies and the best talent on our place. We have all sizes of companies. We have Matt, who you're going to see in a second, hiring on our platform today. Doug might not even be aware, but his recruiting team is on our platform, so thank you. And we match people not only based on skill set, but we match people based on culture. So we get all those conversations out of the way and make it super easy to find an awesome tech job. So check us out, repurpose.co.
Hi everyone, my name is Matt Picinato. I'm the CTO at Sift. We are a people analytics platform. We're located downtown Detroit, and like Ryan said, we are hiring. We're looking for iOS, Android, React Native, if you like JavaScript, any of those types of positions. So my name is Matt Picinato. Just come see me afterwards if you're interested.
Hey everyone, my name is Vail. I am the co-founder and CTO of a company called Fuse PLM. It's a cloud-based product lifecycle management system. I pitched it here in September last year. We are fully launched since last month. We are looking for customers. If you have any small and mid-sized hardware or IoT or manufacturing companies, either you're working there or your friends working there, please refer them. It's www.fuseplm.com. We built a lot of cool features. We wanted to be a Jira for hardware. That's how we wanted to pitch. And we were in ideas in September about chatbot. So now our chatbot is fully built and active. So we call it PLM bot. So that gives we are the industry first implementing this chatbot for the PLM space. Any reference would be helpful. www.fuseplm.com. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name's Diane Buis and I'm one of the 4 co-founders of Ann Arbor Health Hacks. We do healthcare hackathons. I will have to admit I'm the non-technical one. I'm the medical one of medical hackathons. That said, our next hackathon is coming up on June 23rd to 25th and we do monthly happy hours. And the next one is coming up on April 5th. And Doug, you might not know that either, but it is a duo. And so thank you for that. So, happy hour duo, April 5th. Hackathon, June 23rd to 25th, and it's a hackathon and make-a-thon. And so whatever your skill set is, if you care about health, or if you care about somebody with health issues or so, we want you there. Ask me or come to the happy hour. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Bernadette Quist, and I work for an 86-year-old entrepreneurial company. Necessity is the mother of invention. We started off delivering directories, and Adair has now become an innovator in cross-media content delivery. So anything from very short-run digital print, offset directories if you have something that you still want to use some print for, and then all the way to mobile apps and any platform. So if you are interested, and I know we are looking for some programmers as well, please let me know.
Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Locker. I am one of the Desai interns, so I have the good fortune of working with some of the amazing companies that you all got to see pitch earlier. We do have open call for interns for the summer. So the applications are actually due March 24th. We're looking for design interns, business interns, legal interns, and technical interns. So if you know anyone in your network who needs a job over the summer, it's an amazing one. Having done it myself for the past 6 weeks, I'd say it's a unique experience unlike any other. So applications are due the 24th of March, and we would look forward to anyone, either a current undergraduate or a graduate student, to apply. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Isabella Muscat, and I'm with the Ann Arbor Area Toastmasters Meetup. We help people develop leadership skills as well as pitches. If you want help with that, we're involved with the TEDx on campus, and we do have a number of entrepreneurs in our group. We have someone that's doing a self-driving car startup that's probably going to be moving to Ann Arbor. We're also have other entrepreneurs involved in the drone business, and we'd love to help you. We have free leadership training and workshops every month, and we also partner with the Project Management Institute. So welcome to the Ann Arbor Area Toastmasters Meetup.
All right, that's a wrap. Thank you everyone for coming out this evening. I really hope you enjoyed it. We will be at Pizza House this evening following here. Come get some free food, thanks to Spark. Thanks, Spark. And 618 Church Street, if you don't know where that is. See you next month. We'll be here April 18th. You'll hear from Ryan and a couple other companies. Organizers at a2newtech.org. Thank you.
Thank you.